Have you ever wondered how the humble avocado became a global phenomenon? The global vegan movement gained momentum, marking the rise of avocado as the go-to option for those seeking plant-based substitutes. Vegetarianism was also on the rise, so restaurants decided to spice things up by giving their menus a makeover, and avocados took center stage. However, all journeys have their ups and downs. What intriguing element led to the fruit's dramatic downfall? Join us as this deep dive promises to expose the juicy details behind this fruit's roller coaster ride. The path of avocados from an unknown fruit to a punchline is quite fascinating. First things first, avocados are fruits, not vegetables. Technically speaking, they're berries. Originating from Mexico and Central America, they can thrive anywhere there is adequate water and heat. Avocado trees are slow growers, needing about 4 years to begin producing fruit. Has the avocado gained popularity recently and unexpectedly, or did it dominate pool parties before? Contrary to popular belief, avocados weren't always the highlight of pool parties. A smart marketing campaign in California beginning in the 1960s is largely responsible for their rise to fame, although it took some time for people to catch on. Growers in California made significant investments in promoting and advertising avocados to the U.S. market. Their focus was especially on people who were not familiar with this novel fruit that originated in South America. These California growers aimed to popularize the avocado, particularly pushing the idea of avocado toast since they had a monopoly on avocado sales in the United States. Check out the ads from the 1970s and 1980s for avocado that were aimed at housewives. The 1980s saw a sharp rise in the popularity of avocados. It became a sensation due to the era's fixation with differentiating between good and bad fats, and it fit into the desirable good fat category. We have witnessed a similar trend with other foods too, right? When it comes to health and fitness, certain foods like acai berries or quinoa become the main attraction every now and then. Now, fast forward to the 90s, when the US lifted import restrictions on goods from Mexico. The floodgates opened, and 85% of avocados in the US came from imports by the 2000s. Thanks to these imports, the growing season in California was no longer a barrier for Americans to have avocados. Americans can munch on those tasty avocado chips whenever they please. Rising immigration from Latin America also played a role in pushing avocados into the mainstream. Let's dive into the 2010s millennial avocado toast trend. Possibilities are endless with avocados. Yet, why did this one way of enjoying them steal the spotlight? This specific format became the big break for some delicious reason. Put an end to pointless arguments about who did it first. It's time to declare Latin America kicked off the trend. Then, in 2013, just in time for avocado toast to go viral on Instagram, Gwyneth Paltrow included it in her cookbook. Well done, Gwyneth, we should give credit where it's due. In 2014, avocado toast reached an all-time high. In the US, more than 4 billion avocados are consumed every year. By 2017, it was not just a trend, it was a heavyweight in the food world, racking up billions in dollars. Avocado toast appeared on t-shirts, enhanced brunches, and food blogs. Yes, it became that huge. However, what we see in the neighborhood coffee shops and online is only the tip of the iceberg. This is a little-known tale about the Hass Avocado Review Board, the unsung hero behind all this. Remember how growers in California made a big push to market avocados in 2003? That endeavor gave rise to the Hass Avocado Review Board, a nonprofit organization. Their main mission? To make avocados America's superfruit. And you know what? They are the genius minds behind the industry-dominating Hass Avocados. The Hass avocado that is so well known in North America is the origin of the name Hass Avocado Review Board. Just like apples come in all shapes and sizes, there are over 500 variants of avocados. Who knew avocado could have this many variants? What makes Hass avocados stand out? Well, they have tough skin and ripen slowly. Why does that matter? Avocados are not native to North America and are brought to this market. They had to ride on rough trucks and even navigate ship decks to get to these markets. Now, over 95% of avocados grown in the US are Hass avocados. The Hass Avocado Board's mission is to promote Hass avocados throughout North America. Have they nailed it? Absolutely, but since they are a nonprofit organization, figuring out how they manage their money is a bit like detective work. Seeing advertisements promoting regional products like milk eggs, and meat is common in Canada, but none of them have achieved the legendary status of these avocado advocates. They have used press releases and radio commercials praising avocados and their health benefits to achieve this amazing feat. How big is their budget? It is massive. In the first 5 years alone, they spent an astounding $93.1 million promoting Hass Avocados. They even managed to secure sponsorship from NASCAR. This year, they ran a Super Bowl advertisement. Can you believe the jaw-dropping cost of the Super Bowl ad? $7 million. It's natural to wonder, how on earth can they afford to drop $7 million on an ad? Sales of avocados are skyrocketing, and it seems everyone is munching avocados. With avocados reigning supreme, can you envision any chance of failure in the avocado industry? Why do we even think about a possible fall? Let's look at what happens when longtime favorites from the region suddenly become well-known worldwide. Consider quinoa, teff, and palm oil. These foods usually follow a pattern. They are heavily promoted as superfoods with incredible health benefits. Consumers can't resist the promise of high nutritional value, and they dive right in. Those who have influence over other people's food choices are the typical targets of these items' marketing campaigns. They usually go after mom groups, celebrities, trendsetters, influencers, and more. Although the term superfoods may not have scientific backing, it certainly makes the cash register ring. Those who first tried them are just the starting line. The true challenge is bringing these foods to the masses. Avocados are a hit, so much so that they are now found in major fast food chains like Subway and Burger King. However, this sudden takeover has some significant consequences behind the scenes. The unexpected increase in demand for these goods triggers changes in many aspects of life. This includes how land is used for farming methods, water management, local food access, and more. Everyone is competing to stay ahead of this rapidly expanding business and make money. Why do they all work so hard? Because deep down, they knew Phase 2, the slowdown, was on the horizon. The price of quinoa was tripled due to the strong demand for this superfood in the US and Europe between 2005 and 2013. Farmers, particularly in Peru, started growing quinoa instead of rice and vegetables in an effort to profit. Many farmers jumped in, increasing their output to the point where it exceeded demand. However, quinoa has been somewhat of a downhill journey after reaching its peak in 2014. Prices began to drop, even though it was still gaining popularity throughout the world. The smaller farmers found themselves in a tough spot. Their quinoa fields were all but worthless due to their inability to keep up. Tough luck, right? As we just discussed, avocados have seen ups and downs. The first half of 2022 witnessed a boom, but by the end of the year, overproduction, saturating markets, and falling prices were all evident. Even though experts are still hopeful about the growth in the worldwide avocado market, news releases often use exaggerated figures. For instance, the US set a record by importing 2.48 billion pounds of avocados last year. Some producers, like Peru, ended up with zero profit, particularly when it came to avocados and quinoa. Prices are once again falling in 2023. Concerns regarding avocados' future are sprouting up faster among experts. It's like the avocado industry is standing on the edge of a cliff, and onlookers are speculating over its potential for either a thrilling dive or a rocky tumble. America is the avocado king, with half of the world's avocado market in its hands. But over 90% of the avocados in the US are not homegrown. They are imported from Mexico and Central America. These crops follow federal marketing orders and the Hass Avocado Review Board's leadership. This implies that the prosperity of many farmers in Latin America is essentially dependent on the US government. Research offering guidance on how to navigate the boom and bust cycle of these crops recommends safeguarding our food chains and defending local farms. As we conclude the video, we leave you with a thought. Do you think the avocados are facing a bumpy ride ahead, or will they navigate the twists and turns of the future with ease? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.